the reality is that yesterday, when we left this precinct, even some of the people close to the president were quite nervous about what the outcome would look like. In actual fact, if you were to go to their socials, whether their WhatsApp, their Twitter, their Instagrams, there was almost a lull for some time. And then around 9:30, people began to emerge from their hiding places because the indication became clear that the president was going to come back for a second term.
Yeah. So you were not writing a political obituary of him yesterday?
I mean, if I was in a business of obituaries, I would not be here. But look, Thulas, I mean, there were a lot of things happening. There were a lot of moving pieces yesterday. You had the chairperson of Limpopo entirely abandoning his provincial, stand.
Yeah.
You had Gauteng, where the chairperson and the secretary and the deputy chairperson were all just talking, and you couldn't piece together the coherence of it all. There were a lot of moving pieces, trading off that was happening, horse trading, but eventually people solved and resolved the way that they did.
Yeah.
But at some point, it was quite clear that between Friday and Sunday, the confidence with which the president was to return and how it diminished. And when you are here at conference, it's different than when you are at home and you see things. When you are here, you feel the mood, you see the body language, you see the movement of people who are trying to make deals and so on. And if you look closely to the other positions, you then realize that in actual fact, this was a tightly contested conference on the other parts, save for the president.
Yeah, look, there was a significant push to try and secure it for Zweli Mkhize by his supporters. That cannot be gainsaid. And also the nervousness that you mentioned, it was palpable.
Absolutely.
That the confidence wasn't exactly as it was when they came in on the strength of the branch nomination numbers that were telling them one particular story. Let's talk about the outcome that we've seen thus far. And I think I want us to take it forward. What does it mean for coherence and cohesion going forward, at least in this, the ANC says it's not a structure, but for our purposes, in this small structure of the national officials, if the hard conversations are being had in that room at Luthuli House, in that boardroom, how do you foresee them playing out given the outcome, the people that are in the top 7 leadership?
Sorry, I think the first thing that they will need to do is to establish a process, a conciliatory process. Because we do know that the deputy president who has emerged, Paul Mashatile, was not the preferred candidate by the president, nor the people who support the president. They had hoped that Oscar Mabuyane would emerge. And unfortunately, 2 of those who support the president stood there with Ronald Lamula, and that vote was split, and Paul Mashatile won. If that vote had not been split, Oscar Mabuyane may have actually emerged. So I think for them, if they are serious about unity and renewal, as a team of 7 people, they would have to demonstrate that, go through a conciliatory process. I mean, at some point, after Nasrec 2017, the president, Paul Mashatile and David Mabuza were extremely close. In fact, I remember when they went to see King Goodwill Zwelithini, and they were even wearing matching shirts. That's how close they were. Surely it was not a coincidence. So they were well coordinated, but something happened along the way, and there was a parting of ways. And I think so, a conciliatory process. It was a surprise to Gauteng that President Ramaphosa's supporters actually nominated Tina Jumet-Peterson to contest Nomvula Mokonyane, and I think that has created a bit of tension. I mean, we've seen the videos where the president and Nomvula Mokonyane, sort of Grootman,
she calls me Grootman.
Yeah, and they joke and so on. Will they rekindle that spirit and make sure that they act as a unit? And I think a person who will have to take that conciliatory posture more is Gwede Mantashe, because he was quite bullish coming into conference, making sure that he drives the processes to an end of making sure that they happen.